Three, two, one, and we're not live. We're recording, and we will upload this 2 days later. But welcome to Football Mezzanine episode 33. We've done this 32 times now, and this is our 33rd.
Yo, where the
Pretty
subs
crazy.
at? Oh my god.
We're doing decent. I mean, last one we got 3 right off the bat, and a lot of our people are less YouTube and more like other like audio platforms like Spotify
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
Stitcher and
That's
whatnot.
completely agreed.
Don't be self-deprecating us.
Sorry, I'm being platformist. My bad.
Don't be a...
But without getting into this too early,
It's 2018
thank you
street
everyone
card.
for listening. And also, if you are listening on another one, show us some love and hit some subs on YouTube just so we can increase numbers there.
Please.
But again, thank you for listening. And without further ado, let's get into this. And first game, boys. Which one?
Okay, we're getting right
Yep.
into it.
Big boys.
So we're starting with the Premier League, and the biggest game of the Premier League this week was so good. Arsenal versus Liverpool. Yo, I felt like I was watching a basketball game at times.
Dude, I know it was end-to-end stuff. It was so thrilling to watch. Like, if I just pull myself out of my Liverpool shoes for like 2 seconds and like watch it from like a neutral perspective, oh my god. Like,
So you should have been doing. But yeah, it was like, it was so strange because Liverpool left so much space, which I haven't
Dude,
seen
I
them do at
know.
all
Dude, where
this
is the-
season in other
the
games.
press hasn't been as
And-
prominent. Like, we would never give away this much space in midfield ever last season.
I was honestly shocked watching it. I was like, Arsenal were playing through you so
yeah.
easily, like
Oh,
one
yeah.
ball, and they were behind your entire midfield.
No, it was
Yeah.
that crossfield ball
And-
from Ozil to Aubameyang or something like that. That always seemed to just catch us out.
Not even like, it's like Torreira, Xhaka. You guys gave them so much space in midfield; they could just play their
Mhm.
balls. Like Xhaka had a great game.
Oh, he had a good game. Torreira had a
Xhaka
good
had a great game.
I was.
I mean, from
Torreira
our
had a
side,
great game.
as far as I can recall, only maybe... Robertson did have a good game. Gomez, Van Dijk, maybe Milner. That's about it.
Yeah, Milner was probably your standout player. But honestly, like, end to end, and that's always what Arsenal versus Liverpool gets you. Arsenal looked really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. They continue their really good
and
form
stats
under Emery.
show
and
that too.
This was the one we were talking about. We were like, Arsenal have won 12 games in a
Mhm.
row now. Let's see them play a better team. And they did. And honestly, I thought they edged it in terms of play.
In terms of
against
play,
Liverpool.
I definitely think they edged it. But if you do look at the concrete chances that fell to the players and the teams, I feel like we didn't have the luck
Yeah.
and or output at the end to take our chances, because Van Dijk had a chance, the volley against Leno, that should have been a goal. Van Dijk against the post.
It wasn't
Uh,
It wasn't a great game for keepers.
no, it wasn't. Even Alisson had one
Yeah.
shaky moment.
I was gonna say I was disappointed in Liverpool. I would have liked to see them, especially as a title contender, probably put this one off and beat Arsenal. But Arsenal, I mean, props to them. They came up. This, like we said, this was a do or die time, and as far as like this is a big team, let's see how they stack up. And a 1-1 draw, I mean, that's pretty good as far as their books go, and even stats wise, I mean, they destroyed Liverpool pass wise, possession, like pass accuracy.
What was the possession
62
in this
to
game for
38%.
Arsenal?
Yeah,
Really?
they
Because Liverpool always dominates
They had
possession.
over
especially this
200
season.
more
Yeah.
passes than Liverpool as well, and their pass accuracy was 8% higher or something like that. I think 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fabinho gave up a lot of balls in midfield. We were not good in the center. I feel like Henderson would have done a much, much better job if he were there in place of Fabinho. I think he still needs
Yeah,
time.
it just seemed like your midfield was confused whether to press or sit
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
and I don't know. But the TV kept panning, the camera kept panning to Klopp throughout that
He
first
was
half.
furious.
Every time they panned to him, he was just angry and yelling, and he was like, he wasn't happy.
No.
And apparently during halftime, Milner had like a hairdryer moment against the entire team,
Yeah,
where he yelled at them, and
that.
Klopp was like, yeah, he was right to yell at them. But which is weird because Liverpool are the big game team. They always show up when it matters against the big teams.
Yeah.
not
I
so
think
much
Arsenal, you got to give credit to them. I mean, I'm not sure if this was
So
more
much credit.
Liverpool not coming, like not playing at best, or it was just Arsenal bringing it out. And I want to give a little bit more edge to Arsenal for the reason of the 1-1 draw. I mean, it's really been a complete 180 this season compared to, I mean, even last one, right? And Lacazette, you see him putting in 1-1, getting a little bit better as well.
His goal was beauty. He took it very well. He took it very well.
He was their best player. He was their best player.
Unai is just bringing out the best in his team, and I mean, they didn't really have much changes from like last season to this one. So
yeah. Now the thing I liked about Unai in this game is that he was up there on the touchline. He was screaming. He was celebrating. Every time the camera panned to him, he seemed to lifting the crowd up. Which we have never seen from Wenger.
He was honestly so into it.
We have never seen from Wenger that. Like, Wenger used to sit on the bench, talk to his, like, assistants.
I don't know about never.
I think as age gets you get a little more tame.
Perhaps. Maybe in, like, his early days he was like that, but since I've started watching...
When I was, like, straight up, like, half his age or something.
No, but like, since we've started watching, I mean, I haven't seen Wenger nearly as passionate on the touchline as what Emery has shown, and I feel like that really translated to the players, and you know they were up for it.
Yeah, I mean, passion can mean you're a great manager, and it can also mean you're not so great. If you look at like people like Ancelotti's one of the calmest people in the stadium, but
you don't need to necessarily have like the kind of like big reactions on the touchline. I mean, a lot of times you can kind of let your team do their thing, and then when they come off or halftime, that's when you can kind of blow up on them if you really need to. Occasionally, I guess you can, but sometimes just letting the players do their thing can work just as well. I feel like a lot of the coaches, the reason...
I agree with you, Tristan, when you say we should give a bit more credit to Arsenal because they were unbelievable in this game. Like I thought they should have been at least 2 up by like halftime because they were dominating.
They didn't have concrete chances as far as I can remember. There was
they did have a few, but you're right. You guys did have like the most clear one, which was wrongly ruled out for offside.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing. I mean,
but that was also frustrating watching Arsenal play that well and still not really put it away and create like that final pass.
No, that'll come for Arsenal. They're still in their early days. That'll come. I feel.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of first season City under Pep. You know what I mean? So much possession, so many shots, but we always seem to either win by a goal or draw or have like a terrible defeat.
No, but again, I think that's still like...
It'll come with time. Yeah, it'll come with time, as you said. But I wanted to say Tristan made a good point. Like, we should give more credit to Arsenal than just say Liverpool.
I think this was the best possible result too for Chelsea. A 1-1 draw for both of them.
And Chelsea.
And City, Like basically a lot of the teams that the 1-1 draw was the best possible scenario.
You know what it feels like? This feels
celebrated
like a loss.
So hard.
This feels like a loss.
It kind of is.
No, if you think about
it. Every game you drop points this season is going to be huge.
No, exactly.
It's going to feel like a loss.
The thing is, it's crazy. We're at the point before you guys played, we were top of the table after 11 games, and I'm not happy. We're top of the table, and I'm not happy. Like, why? It's just...
You're not top of the table.
No, at the time before you played that, after the Arsenal game, we were top of the table.
Okay.
And I was still like...
Yeah, but I mean, because you knew we had a game.
There's still a lot of the season to go, so I wouldn't worry too much. And I mean, it's a 1-1 draw. If anything, Arsenal's been playing well, and taking a 1-1 draw is, even for Liverpool, their side, it's a good... good result. It's not ideal, but it's a good result.
It's not ideal, but... it also goes to show, we played everyone but United from the top 6. So
I mean, United don't even
just
count
for time's sake, I want to get into a little news surrounding Arsenal. Aaron Ramsey is officially going to be leaving them on a free transfer, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we can expect him to not re-sign the contract, and he will be out in the... Well, I mean, he'll be officially in the summer.
Out on the streets.
He'll be out on the streets, yeah, for a little bit. But no, the summer he'll be officially joining a different team, and been a couple of links for different locations for him. So
I've heard
nothing
Liverpool, I've heard Juventus, I've heard United. But...
Yeah, I've heard Juventus quite a bit. We'll see what happens. I think this is completely still up in the air, so I'm not even going to comment on teams because I haven't heard anything concrete yet. So, and as far as
before we move on, sorry, actually, you want to finish?
No, go ahead.
Okay, before we move on from this game, I just want to Shrikar, in your notes you said Liverpool still haven't hit the heights we've seen last season. Yeah. That's an interesting note.
No, we haven't.
Are you sure?
The fact of the matter is we have.
You guys are.
I think it's been better this season.
Yeah, I would say you guys.
It's not as flashy, but it's been better. You've been more consistent.
We have been more consistent, but the thing is, last season gave me pure joy when I watched the football. Like, I watched the football and I was
because it's flashy.
Not necessarily, like, it wasn't even flat. Like, just the drive, the hunger, the press, just, you know.
I also feel like it's because you guys didn't expect as much from Liverpool last season.
It was a surprise factor, yes.
So maybe you're like, oh man, they're doing well, or like, oh, like I don't know, like underdog. I don't know. What do you guys think? We'd love to hear comments on this.
I feel like the season we'd be happier had City drop more points, even with the style of play we've been playing.
Yeah. So do you think it's Liverpool that haven't hit the heights, or do you think it's just your expectations are too high?
Our attack hasn't hit the heights. Fine, I'll rephrase that.
You know what? Your attack could do a bit better. I agree on that. But otherwise, as far as the season goes, I think it's been better than last season, if anything. I think it's a little bit on
points for points and like for like. Yes, we have been better, but just as a
I'm not even sure if it's expectations. I would say it's more aspirations. You're hoping a little bit more to see continually that like attacking drive that they had last season, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd love to hear
it seems like
from the viewers
Firmino
what you guys
and
think.
Salah for you have been
bad.
Firmino and Salah for you, it seems like, have been sort of underwhelming. Mane has still kept his level.
Yeah.
If anything, he's gotten a little
Okay, guys, time's sake. Let's wrap this up.
I mean, we'll see. The Champions League's coming up. Hopefully we smoke Red Star at home and get back on track.
Oh, you better.
There's going to be a lot of smoke, all right, by the way. There's going to be smoke. Anyway, yeah, let's move on to Man City.
Oh, what a thrashing. What a thrashing.
So, a quite close game for the opening 5 minutes, and then 6-1.
Oh, just destroyed them.
Yeah. Shrikar has left the conversation.
So, the epitome of this game, when I think about it, is that, like, probably almost like a minute to 2 minutes where Man City's inside the 18-yard box of Southampton, and all you see is them just passing back and forth basically around all the players, and it's just
did you guys see that clip of them trying to shoot inside the box?
I think that's
for like
that's
5
what I'm
minutes?
referring to. It was just all in their zone completely.
It was just crazy.
And then what? Walker goes to the 18 and just butchers it.
As a City fan.
So when he went to Walker in the 18 at the end and he butchers it.
Yeah, Walker just gets it at the end of that little passage. He's like, "Fuck this, guys! I'm just gonna shoot."
I think he got confidence from that game we saw at the Etihad. Remember he scored that goal from like quite a far bit out.
Scored that goal.
He's like, you know what? Let's try it again.
No, I mean, I think he was just pissed at his teammates. He's like, guys,
enough.
come on, like none of this flashy shit. I'm just gonna fucking shoot, and
dude,
he did.
Oh, it's so frustrating. Everyone's having their best season. You guys are just fucking smoking the league.
Oh, Man City's on a whole other level this season.
Like, I'm just like, what? Like on Liverpool subreddit,
I actually have a confession
just like,
to
what
make.
can we do? We literally can't do anything.
What's your confession?
I actually have a confession to make. I think this was one of our worst home games this season in terms of our play.
Yo, screw the play. You guys scored freaking.
Yeah, who cares? It's 6-1.
No, but I'll tell you what happened.
Yo, if anything,
we were
Southampton
so sad. My team won 6-1. I'm disappointed.
No, can I actually say what happened? 'Cause, okay, we were 3-0 up after 18 minutes, and I'm like, I was ready to turn the TV off and go outside. I'm like, I have so much. I was just ready, and then after 3-0, we pretty much stopped creating chances, and normally when that happens, I wouldn't think anything of it. I'm like, whatever, we're 3-0 up, but then they panned to Guardiola in the touchline, and he was furious, and that's when I realized, like, okay, if they go in at halftime and they don't score another goal, he's gonna be furious, because he doesn't let the level drop at least, even for a minute. Sorry, drop something. And he says that because, oh my god, my camera's out of focus. How do I do this?
All right, well, I'll take over while.
No, okay. Sorry, it's back. And he keeps coming back to the fact that he says if we drop our focus for like even one half of football, we're gonna be out of the Champions League every time we go to the knockout game.
Yeah.
and it's like this fear he has in his head.
Yeah.
And what we did next is we conceded a goal, and it was a really, really bad goal to concede from Southampton.
Was it a penalty?
Like, they just passed. It was a pen, yeah. It was like our defense switched off, our goalkeeper was shit, and then we conceded a goal, and our defense looked really shaky all game. And after the game, Guardiola said that was the worst defensive performance we've put in all game. So he's not happy, even though we won 6-1. And watching the game, like, I thought we were pretty sloppy. So if there's one fear I have coming off of a 6-1 win, it's that we might be getting a little sloppy.
I can understand Guardiola's standpoint. Like, regardless if you win 6-1, especially with him, he's kind of a perfectionist, and there's always things you want to improve on. And you can always pick things out where you've been weak, so you want to change it or improve it. So, like, I can understand that entirely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you guys...
Yeah, it's just I wanted to bring a different light to the situation. Because everyone's, like, pointing at the... Obviously, it's great. So there's no point of saying it even more. But I'm just saying, like... The defense was a little shaky.
And, I mean, De Bruyne is missing, too. So, like, fuck me. 6-1.
Yeah.
What's going on? Like...
No, that is the perfect standpoint.
See, I called at the beginning of the season, City's going to win the league. And I know it.
We'll see. There's a lot of season left. There's a lot. And
no,
honestly,
there isn't, mate.
And all it...
Oh my god. Striker's so sad. He's already
throwing in the towel. White flag.
Oh my god. Draws one game against Arsenal. Man, the season's over,
guys. We're fucked. Game over.
We're done. Let's just end it.
What? Why? Why do I even
We'll win
live?
the Champions League. It's okay. It's okay. We'll win the Champions League.
Not with Klopp's record. You'll get to the finals and lose.
Oh.
But actually one piece of information story-wise I want to bring in is Aguero is one of 8 or 9 players now to score over 150 goals.
150 goals.
That's impressive.
150.
Oh yeah.
It's okay, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Records after records. It's just, there's no point talking about it anymore. I feel bored talking about it.
All right.
Let's talk about Chelsea.
Let's move on.
Again, Chelsea again unbeaten. What's going on with 3 unbeaten teams? Why?
It's been a weird season.
Chica's just done.
What?
Chica's just done.
I'm just like, let us have the season, please.
What is everyone else doing well too?
Why you gotta be like that? Every time we have a good season, it's like, no.
Chelsea, absolutely great game for them. 3-1 against Crystal Palace. I mean, possession 74%. They had 883 passes to Crystal Palace's 313. 90% accuracy.
If that was against us, Palace would have showed up. I guarantee you, 100%.
They did kind of show up. I had hope for this game because Crystal Palace had beaten Chelsea for the past 3 seasons or something. And then when they equalized through Townsend or something, I'm like, it's gonna happen. They're going to lose their game, but
Morata
is on form.
Doing well here. 2 goals. I mean, it's still very early for him. I won't say much, but it is promising. He has been showing more promise this season. I am at least... This is interesting. If he can actually get back to form, like at Real Madrid or Juventus kind of thing, and even past that would be very nice. But again, at least it's a boost for his confidence.
But to be fair, Chelsea's next 2 games are Everton and Spurs, so hopefully they drop some points there.
It would, for you, hopefully. For me, not so much. But I mean, Chelsea's been great. Everton, I'd be surprised. Spurs, that will be a tough one.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to that game, though. That'll be really able to test themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope for Spurs' sake they do well in that game. Man, Spurs need some pick.
No, you know what? I still want Chelsea.
Where are you on, man? They're 3 points off. They're 5 points off top.
Straight up, today Pochettino's press conference was like, "Yeah, we're having a shit season, but I'm pretty happy today because I was watching House of Cards and it's a pretty good show."
Yo, House of Cards season 3 has been absolute garbage, by the way.
It's just like he's lost it. He's off the rails. You should watch that press conference. It's
Pochettino to push the next journalist onto the subway trains at London. Yes.
Quick speculation. Do you guys think that Pochettino, it's his last season with Spurs, or is he gonna continue on?
Depends.
I think he's gonna continue because Real Madrid are gonna get another manager, and he's probably not gonna go anywhere else.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, since Real Madrid sacked their manager already, he's not going to go. If they sacked him in the summer, then maybe. But
it also depends if they hire someone immediately. Like, if they just stay with their, like, intro, like, like, their...
If he gives some results, then...
If Solari stays, then they might be able to go back in for the summer. That's a good point. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I'm also curious to see
who did they play this weekend? They played Wolves.
I mean, they went 3-0 up, and then Wolves had a comeback at the end, kind of, which I really hope for. Yeah. But again, that didn't happen either. So
I was like, put them out of their misery. Just win a game.
We actually, this is just sidetrack for a sec, since we already passed Arsenal and just forgot about it. But Arsene Wenger has been strongly linked with AC Milan, the managerial position there. So.
Okay, Tristan, we're trying to stick to
I know, I just wanted to bring it up because I don't know when I was going to get to later.
Okay, I'm joking, by the way.
Yeah, but either way, I thought that was interesting since he actually said he's probably going to get back into it in January, so I mean...
He said January 1st you'll see me in a new job, so...
Yeah, which is weird. I don't see why he wouldn't just wait and start in the summer. Why do you want to go like mid-season?
My New Year's resolution is to win a
game. Or maybe he's trying to almost sign someone.
Maybe he's trying to start mid-season.
Oh, Shrikar.
Maybe he's trying to start mid-season because that way if they do terrible, he has an excuse.
Oh, come on, guys. He's a legend. Don't be so hard.
But then he'll just be Big Sam.
Jesus.
0.2, except thin French guy.
You just compare Wenger to Big Sam.
Except a French guy.
I mean, like taking over, like that's Big Sam's thing, right? He takes over a shit club at the middle of the season and pulls them out of relegation. That's the only thing he does.
And then just does terrible.
Big Sam for Monaco.
Oh, Monaco should definitely look into it because Henry did crap.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, Ruben Neves penalty, Harry Kane getting one as well. I've been following Ruben Neves for a while, and I think he's I would be surprised if he doesn't go to a big club next summer.
No, I don't think he's gonna go next summer, but the summer after that, sure.
I feel like he would do well at a big club next summer.
Wolves is a big club, Tristan.
Okay, but
did you look at their history? Come on.
They have been doing pretty well this season, haven't they?
Yeah. They already won the league last year. He has trophies.
There was talks of actually Neves going to Man City.
Wolves is pretty much the Portugal national team, so he pretty much won the Euros.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
How many players of them are from the national team?
I think it's 4.
I'm pretty sure like over half.
No, 4 of the starting 11, I'm fairly sure.
Oh, okay.
So half according to Anch's math.
Fair enough.
Stop. Okay.
Moving on to the.
And you call yourself an engineer.
Bournemouth against United, the 6-pointer.
Okay, Shrika, we're not trying to lose any United subscribers here.
Okay, fine.
Man, they've been turning it around.
We'll call it the fight for 6th place.
Anthony Martial, absolutely been fantastic for a bit now. He's leading the charge for Man U, especially since Lukaku's been absent.
Lukaku's been garbage, and Martial has stepped up.
Yeah.
I think he was absolutely fantastic. Marcus had a good game, but the media was very harsh on him. I
was gonna say it was funny because Martial was basically gone almost in the summer. Like he was very close to leaving, and now he's the reason why that Man U at least has been able to keep kind of their winning and.
It just seems like they don't have a plan, man.
Dude, every time I just look at them, I'm like, the first half is so trash. Every single game, it's so trash.
It seems like Matic is like giving birth on the pitch. He just can't move, and then like.
No, I feel like Mourinho doesn't have a plan, and then he's like, "All right, guys, go assess the situation on the pitch, and then let me know at halftime."
All right,
that's definitely not.
I don't know. I say give him some slack here. He's been doing well as of late with Man U. They've turned it around, so let's give credit where credit's due. He's been able to pull it around. They've been winning, whether it's big scores or anything like that. They've been winning, and that's really what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, I want to bring up a really interesting point. Okay. So he went really public and really in depth about his tactics after this game in the press conference. I don't know if you guys saw it. Are you interested?
No. So how about you fill it in for us and the viewers, listeners?
Okay, I will do that. So
gather around, everyone.
He was talking about something that we've already talked about, but he talked about it himself, which was interesting. And he was talking about how he said basically that his teams were defensive, or this specific team was defensive in his first 2 years to mask the deficiencies that they had. But he's trying to transition them to be more of a balanced team rather than a defensive team, but that is showing the problems that they had in defense already. And he also pointed out the fact that he has the same players in defense that he did during his first couple of years, which is why his teams are making the same mistakes, essentially. So he pretty much confirmed the fact that they played defensive because they were poor, and they had to mask the fact that they were poor by putting 10 men behind the ball.
But that makes no sense.
Here's the thing.
Look at the amount of money they spent since Mourinho has come in.
So I wouldn't say poor is an accurate, like...
No, he straight up said, like, his players are technically not as good as...
Then why the fuck...
I agree with what he said, where playing defensive style can mask your weaknesses. And I think that's a good way to do it. And he's always kind of done that with a lot of his teams, and it's worked. If you actually... I guess the best example I can think of was last season when Chelsea played Barcelona in the first leg, where they played a defensive style and they did well against Barcelona. It's kind of like that. I mean, they masked a lot of their weaknesses of last season that they're not having so much this season, and you can get good results by doing that. So I think
Chelsea against Barca in the Champions League, where Willian scored 2 goals.
The first game, the first leg. The second leg, The second leg, he actually tried to go offensive again. And that episode right before, I said he should probably do the same method. But he tried to switch it, and it just destroyed. Absolutely.
That was
went the other way.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so I pulled up the quotes so I can read them out for you guys. He said, because the approach was much more defensive last season, and with a much more defensive approach, you can hide better your weaknesses.
Yep. That makes sense.
So when the team is really defensive and you have a more defensive mind, then you base the work on that. Then the team doesn't develop enough in other areas, but the team managed to get results based on that defensive.
So he said we parked the bus.
Yeah, like he's being pretty honest about it, and he said he says,
like, I don't know, park the bus is kind of an extreme defensive scenario, right? Whereas you can still play defensive, but without parking the bus.
Sure.
And then he said, I'm trying to find a balance where we develop the team in the second and first phase of attack, and we develop the talented players that we have without losing the balance.
He knows what he's doing.
He's now trying to say, like, I'm trying to shift them away from being defensive so we can develop our more midfielder and attacking-minded players, but it's difficult because we still have a lot of problems in defense.
He knows what he's doing, yeah, and honestly, I agree with him that they need to invest in defense, but they need to invest in the right players. Some of the players they were trying to go and get past summer, the reason why they got rejected was because they were old or they were very temporary kind of thing. So
yeah, I mean, all their players that they've signed for defense have been flops. Lindelof
I'm surprised they
players, but they
signed
just
Lindelof.
Played well for United.
I have a quick point.
Luke Shaw was a big flop for Man U.
What were you saying?
So last season, Liverpool's assistant coach Zeljko Buvac left the club, and so did Mourinho's assistant coach Rui Faria. He also left the club. Do you guys see a difference between United last season and now in terms of their play? Because a lot of Liverpool fans have been complaining that the reason behind our lack of attack or incisiveness is because of Zeljko Buvac leaving. Do you notice something like that in United as well this season, where it has an effect on the manager that his assistant has left him?
I can't confirm or deny that. I mean, there's only one way to know, which is to ask the manager. But I don't think an assistant leaving would change the style of the team. Because ultimately, it's the manager that decides the style.
There would have to be a lot of weight on an assistant, and he'd have to be a crucial element to the team in order to have a huge impact. I haven't noticed too much, and I wouldn't assert too much to that. I think again came down to more like management of the players' personalities. It seems like things are going better at least for Man U, so I'm not sure what kind of went behind closed doors, but I would put less on the assistant if anything, but that's just an opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say because you can
Interesting
never really be sure.
because news today broke out that
coaches than others.
There's been like lawyers and shit involved right now with like his departure too. Like he was Klopp's like best mate for like 10 years, and then today like a reporter asked him a question about the assistant coach, and he said, yeah, I haven't spoken to him in like months, which was odd. So
yeah. I don't know, sometimes there's falling outs, and
yeah, I guess shit happens.
But either way, Man U, good result at least, get an extra win, gets the extra 3 points. Hopefully they can continue this form.
And then this week is crucial for them. I think this week is really crucial for them because they're playing Juventus and then they're playing Man City.
Yeah.
If they lose both those games, then the heat is completely back on Mourinho, and he could be gone in January.
But to be fair, though, those are both tough games. Like, to expect a win from Man U against Man City.
I think as long as United qualify for the Champions League knockout stages, he won't be...
Yes, I agree with that. I don't think he needs to win both those. I do think he needs to make Champions League the round of 16 for sure.
That's the only thing that's gonna sack
him. Losing to Man City, I don't think would be like a nail in his coffin or anything like that.
No.
Okay, but here's what I'm thinking: 2 losses in these 2 games. Let's say they lose 2-0 to Juventus and like 3-0 to Man City. That could be really bad for.
I think you're looking at it like
I don't think that'll go down well at all.
You have to look at the sides. I mean, Juventus has been playing well.
That's logic speaking, but media and knee-jerk reactions don't rely on logic.
Clubs are generally
if United
better
fans,
than that, though.
No,
generally.
I feel like United fans and the media are at such a point that they both know that United are not the same side they were 5-6 years ago, and they've accepted that.
They have not been that side for a long time.
Yeah, United are not the same United as before, and
but that really came down to Fergie.
And the press have acknowledged that fact.
I don't think so, man. Like, United playing like a mid-table team is still going to be the top story on like Daily Mail.
Yeah, but I mean they've turned it around. 2 games is not a huge. As long as he makes it past the group stage for Champions League, he'll be fine. If he doesn't make it past there, then I'd be very worried.
If he loses to Juve and he loses to Valencia, then there's going to be an issue. But until then, I don't see any.
It's the derby, man. The derby is a big game. If he
has come on, City have been like
the derby,
it's a big game. It wouldn't
be completely out of order if they lost the game.
Maybe it'll like put a little bit towards the mind of like, okay, we're gonna have to still consider, but I don't think it'll have any significant impact though, because Man City is the stronger side. Everyone knows that. And if anything, if I'm Mourinho, I am going to be playing defensive against City.
Yeah.
If you try and go out like for the offense, I mean, you're gonna get destroyed.
If you think if they lose like 3-0 to Man City on Sunday, there's going to be no backlash.
But I mean, the media might say some stuff, but there's nothing going to be club-wise. Club-wise, there won't be backlash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Group stages. If he does not make it through the group stage of Champions League, that is a major one.
That's a major shit, yeah. If he go back onto Europa.
Long term, if he does not move up the table as well.
I guess we'll see. Because, I mean, if they lose to Juventus, that's 2 losses and a draw out of 3 games.
If they lose those 2 games, it's still not in Man U's benefit to sack him this early.
No, yeah.
It is still not, because those are both arguably better sides.
Yeah. And he said that.
Oh, yeah. Not even arguably. Definitely. If they can put in a fight, then that's what the fans want to see, even if they lose.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's move on to...
So that was just our
Premier League
coverage.
And as far as
and now we're gonna get into our deep dive topic for this week,
hasn't been too much
which
world news.
Srikar's gonna introduce.
Well, so there's something called the European Super League that has been in the works for the past 2 years. So the first news broke out 2 years ago that the major clubs in England, Spain, France, and Italy were planning on separating to introduce a new 16 to 20 club format where they were playing head-to-head against each other. And elite, yes.
Yeah, the elite
so
clubs.
now, in the past week, reports have emerged that these clubs have met again, and that talks have proceeded forward. And this time, the teams in conversation are Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, no Spurs, haha.
What a guy!
Oh, every chance!
I had to sneak that
every
in.
chance you have to take a shot.
Oh my god!
Sorry, they're not a big team. I'm sorry.
Barcelona, Bayern
yeah, you
Munich,
got the likes.
PSG, Bayern Munich, Juventus. All you name the European big teams, you know them. Are Atletico in there?
Atletico is in there, yes.
AC is there.
Okay. AC Milan is there, which is kind of strange.
But I feel like
I think it's like
brand, just like
yeah, it's the brand of the club and the history.
So I think that inclusion just shows alone that this league is all about.
Oh, it's definitely about the money for sure.
Straight up.
All about the money.
For sure.
And okay, so let's start off with your thoughts, Shrikar, since you introduced it. What do you
the
think
major
about this thing, man?
point to consider is that it's not a supplement for the Champions League. It is a league on its own, which means that these clubs will have to break away from the Football League. If we're talking England, that means they're no longer affiliated with the FA Cup. They're no longer affiliated with the League Cup or the Premier League.
Yep.
And essentially, that's the
no
only
relegation,
competition they'll be playing
no
in.
promotion.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's just.
It feels wrong.
Ridiculous.
It feels dirty.
Who comes up? It's a horrible idea. It's like something that an 8-year-old would dream up in his dreams.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean, I can see where the investors are getting the idea from. Yes, in the past 6-7 years, we've seen an influx of, tours to Asia, tours to America in preseason, which have garnered large amounts of money. If you consider Liverpool versus United at the, I forget the stadium name, but the 100,000 capacity stadium at Michigan U, those tickets, each ticket was worth $80 base price. So if you could sell out that stadium,
taking away like the integrity of football, the whole spirit of the competition. If you say these are the best teams in the world and they are going to play that by themselves, and no one can enter or leave.
I mean, there'll be no Merseyside
That's
derby.
it. Like, goodbye.
I thought there was
Spurs,
a relegation.
I
thought they were going to have some sort of a relegation, but certain teams were going to be guaranteed safety.
No relegation.
No.
What?
It's just, you guys are 7 teams. Go have fun in your little league. No,
it's not 7 teams. It's larger than that.
I mean, fine. There's 16 teams, but I mean
I heard it was like 16 to 20 potentially.
Like, I don't want to see Liverpool, Real Madrid every 2 weeks. I want that to be like a major highlight in like my watching lifetime. Because if I see Liverpool, Real Madrid every twice a year, that takes away from the fact because we played them in the final last year, and before that was 2014, before that was 2008. So it's a special occasion, right? It's not something that happens on the regular.
There's a couple things I'd like to add. One, if this was going to be implemented, it sounds like they're going to try to do it for 2021. 2, though, I agree with you guys in the sense that I don't think this should be a thing. Because for a couple reasons. One, I mean, you're going to shaft all the other teams, and you're just saying, like, these are the top teams. These are the only ones that you get to kind of, like, have all the money, the glory, and whatnot, etc. And it doesn't really give a chance for, like, lower teams to kind of, like, build up. However unlikely it kind of has been. But number 2, it also takes away from the impact of when you get, a Real Madrid, like, Man U or Chelsea or Man City or whatever side match. It's much bigger now because it rarely ever happens, whereas if it's a season, you're going to see this regularly, and it's just... I mean, the Champions League is a huge thing because of that, I find. There's a lot more at stake because you rarely get to see this. And even there was, like, federations, like the Football Supporters Federation, their chair, Malcolm Clark, ended up talking, and I'm going to try and get a quote here for him. Saying, like, yet again, there's a far-reaching proposal being drawn up by big clubs whose primary interest is making as much money as possible without any consultation with fans at club, national, or European level. And without fans, those clubs are nothing. And I agree with that statement that I don't think they're consulting the fans. I feel like a lot of the fans don't want this, don't want to see this. It's just
like
it's
we
gonna
want
take
the
away a
Christmas
lot of
period. We want like the tradition to stay intact, and I feel like
it's just disgusting, man. I can't look at it without like being like, what the fuck. So, another couple of facts about it. There's 16 clubs, as you said. There's 11 founding clubs, and 5 invited guests.
So rotating essentially, whoever like is a surprise package of that year, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what I think. Some people can get relegated out of it, and some will stay. And there's some that'll be guaranteed to always be in it, no matter what.
And these 11 founding clubs would not face relegation, and we'd be guaranteed membership for 20 years. It's like, what the hell is that? Like, you're just, that's it. You sit pretty and you look good and you make money. There's no competition. It's just.
I think some of the 11 too, from what I've heard, are Madrid, Milan, like AC Milan, Arsenal, Barcelona, Bayern, Juventus, Man U, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, and I think there's one other, but I can't remember.
PSG?
Who. Probably.
Yeah.
But the rest are all fringe at that point.
So the 5 for the first season were proposed to be Atletico, Dortmund, Inter, Roma, and Marseille.
Marseille, interesting choice. Okay.
But I don't see anything for this.
We'll never have a Leicester again, if that happens.
Yep, that is true.
That will not happen again.
Well, that not necessarily. Like, say,
I mean, who will be the top of the Premier League? Bournemouth?
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is
Tottenham.
No, but what I'm saying is, say Leicester gets included in this Super League, right? There's still a chance,
at least Spurs can
however small.
At least Spurs can win the league.
No, but guys, like, there still could be technically, like, say Leicester gets into the Super League, there's a chance that they could win, and then that would be insanely huge, right? But it'd be very small and very unlikely. But there's been comments actually by some of the big clubs, or lack of comments. Bayern has denied allegations, and Manchester United just declined to comment. So there's obviously something behind here. There's been numerous reports over the years saying that there's been like meetings and things like that. So this is a very real, I'm going to say threat, because I think it is threatening to the current leagues as they stand. And it'll be also interesting to see where this goes.
Would you, as fans...
What's crazy is that...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. What's crazy is that the players who would play for these teams would be eligible? Basically not available for their international teams.
No, I don't think so. Why not?
Really? Wait, what? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just they would be deregistered by their association, so like...
No, I don't think that plays a factor, because the registration for the UEFA competitions and the club competitions is aside from FIFA.
No, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Unless these... No, I don't think so.
You know what's going to be... what's going to be interesting?
DMP,
I was going to say, what's interesting of that is you have two ways. You either are going to get the players that are going to go, and then you're going to have some associations that'll be like, well, shit, we need those players, so we're going to allow them instead of holding a grudge because we want to win. Or you're going to see players be like, no, I'm not going in the Super League because I can't play for international, like my nation, basically.
So UEFA's fighting this.
Oh, of course, because it would destroy them.
Who is actually getting together this Super League and trying to make this a thing? Like, who is
I
this
think it's an
group
American
of
not broadcaster, but American group, as far as I know.
An American group?
I think the same... don't quote me on this, I might be completely off, but the same people who ran the ICC, the International Champions Cup.
Really?
I might be completely wrong, but that's what
I'm just trying to look at it right now.
You know what's funny? In Trigar's notes, he specifically says top 6 barring Spurs. He went out of his way to write that in the comment.
It's true.
The truth always hurts, Spurs fans.
Jeez. We will never have any Spurs fans. If you're a Spurs fan, say hi. You are one of few.
Yo, if you say hi, I will personally reply to your comment with the video.
With the video.
Don't get rid of the only Spurs fan we may have.
Yeah,
I really don't think we have Spurs fans. Remember the two people who subbed off? I think they were Spurs fans.
Probably.
So it was released by Football Leaks, and
Football Leaks is pretty good at getting stuff out there. But as far as that, is there any other information that you guys have heard of the Super League? It's still pretty quiet and far.
Not information.
It's scary because it's not just a little thing that was mentioned, but it's like you see all these emails that are really professional sent by really prominent people who are trying to make this a thing, and that's scary.
It's money. It's definitely money. That is entirely what it is. There's no other reason.
I have a question for you guys. As fans, would you stop watching your club if that happened?
Oh, you got to know that if this happens, no one's gonna stop watching. I mean, it's such a religion in most of the world. I think that no matter what, unfortunately, people will go to it, and I think they kind of got everyone by the nutsack, basically.
No, see, I feel like if the players and quality remains, people watch it. But say, for example, players start leaving these clubs now because of the Super League.
Wait, what do you mean leaving these clubs? Like leaving the Super League clubs or the other clubs?
Yeah, leaving the Super League clubs.
Oh, I can't see that happening. With the amount of money they're going to be paying these players, there's no way. You would have to be a very much a fan of football to just turn down all that money. And as we can see right now, they take all the money, and there's a lot of deals that happen for it. So I honestly just can't see it.
See, as per some English fans that I've heard on this issue, they've proactively said that they will stop supporting their current clubs because for us as international fans, we watch the footy on TV, right? So it doesn't make a difference. But for them, it's an experience. It's a match day thing.
So
it's embedded in their culture, right? So if they don't go to the FA Cup, they can support FC United of Manchester or Salford City for that matter, right? Why would they choose to support United when they clearly don't care about the community?
The one way I see this whole thing going down is, from what I've gathered and what I've read, it seems a lot of fans are against this, like we are. Mm-hmm. And from that, if there's some sort of organized kind of like
boycott?
Yeah, boycott of the teams' leagues, they will change their tune very quickly. But this is going to need to happen before it becomes a thing. So I think people are going to need to start to be vocal very soon
right now,
and together, which is going to be the hard thing because you're going to have to organize and actually get in large groups as a result. So, but if
one thing football is great for is getting
I wouldn't be surprised if honestly if you can get the boycotts out there, they're going to change their tune very quickly, which I think it needs to. The current form is good.
Yeah,
it's also great. It helps the smaller clubs as well. This would just destroy them because you would see all the the big money going into, let's say, the Premier League, for example. That would just completely change, right? Unless you saw all the fans for some reason be like, no, we're not watching the Super League and we're just going to the actual PL, like what remains of it. So,
looking at the current format, would you guys make any particular changes to how football is right now?
There was talks Champions League wise of making more teams that could enter it potentially.
Okay, what I would do is get rid of the insanely crazy qualifying rounds for the Champions League because they start pretty much as soon as the season ends. It's crazy. Though, those clubs have no preseason and they're playing for the
They play in July,
qualifying,
July 2nd or some shit like that. It's insane.
Yeah, it's just something that popped into my head, which is kind of
the qualifying. I think there was actually one of the things they were talking about was getting rid of the qualifying.
Yeah.
Well, they need to have some sort of qualifying still, but
I know, but the qualifying would be the seasons and stuff like that.
Taken out.
Yeah.
That needs to go.
I agree with that.
We can't afford that many games. Seriously.
Yeah.
And I was just getting onto that. The amount of games in the English game in the winter, it's the most
ridiculous.
classic topic, but it's because it's the most important.
That's why
I'm not saying get rid of the winter period, but
the amount of injuries English clubs suffer because of it is just.
That's why a lot of the teams just don't care about the English Cup. They'll just throw a lot of their young players, which is great. I mean, they get experience at least, kind of thing.
So I mean, this year they are trying something where they're having a staggered winter break for each team, where each team has a separate 2-week or 1.5 week period when they're having a rest, which I'm not sure how it'll work out, but I guess we'll find out this December.
Now, also I feel like the Europa League is too crowded. There's so many it's essentially a copy of the Champions League, and I feel like it's I just want to see knockout games, man. Like, I don't want to see like Chelsea play Bate Borisov for like 2 games home and away. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like,
But how would
I
you
just like get
rid-
it to knockout until there's like 16 teams, and then do groups of like 4 to like quarters.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how many clubs really appreciate playing in the Europa League.
Like, I don't want to
I
see
don't know
like
how
You
much
do get a bit of
Arsenal
money
go
from
away
it.
to like some shit club in Ukraine.
Thing is, but that opportunity for that shit club in Ukraine
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah.
I think you can get a decent money
Yeah,
out
so
of
there's
the
different
Europa
ways to look
League.
at it.
No, I
And
understand.
honestly, I like having the Europa League as well. It gives a lot of support for the smaller clubs with aspirations of going higher.
No, you're right. You guys are right.
Okay.
Yeah, I take that back. My bad.
Oh,
Whoops.
okay. I mean, it was a kind of
One of the problems
it's-
though
it's-
with the
it's completely
PL is
justified
the amount of
point.
games.
Yeah.
Like, if you were like a small club in Russia or like Turkey,
Yeah.
and you were welcoming like
Yeah.
Arsenal, that'll be like one of the
Yeah.
biggest moments of your life. So yeah, I take that back.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Okay. All right. Glad we brought that up. You guys want to mention anything else before we?
No, I think that wraps up our deep dive into
Yeah.
the Super League.
Yeah. It was a weird deep dive, but it's a weird subject. So
Yeah.
if you listeners have like stuff to add, like let us know because we're still learning about it too. We don't know everything about it.
There's not a lot of
just know we don't
information out
want
there
it.
though currently about it because it is kind of secretive right now. So some of it's speculation, some
Yeah.
of it's what they've gathered from
Yeah.
sources. But
Yeah.
Also, just to mention, Wayne Rooney's back for England.
yeah, captaining,
Forgot to mention
captaining
Mention
them.
that.
Yeah. It's just kind of out of the blue.
I know, like he was retired, he was
what?
done,
Back in
119
retirement.
caps.
But they're like, oh, charity. We're gonna bring
But
it
it's
up to
not a charity
120.
game though. It's a proper international game. It's not a charity game.
Yeah, I was confused. Like, is it actually a
No,
charity?
it's an international.
Like, what's
it's
the
not
charity?
part of the Nations League, of course, because USA isn't part of Europe. But it's an international friendly. Like, it's a proper game.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
what's the charity? Because they keep saying
No,
charity.
I think they're saying the proceeds of the game or something like that will be donated to charity, but it's not a charity game.
It'll be used as a fundraiser for Rooney's Foundation. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Which seeks to generate over £500,000 for children's charity.
so I guess they're saying,
Okay.
oh, all the ticketing proceeds from the game will go to charity instead of into
Yeah.
the FA's pocket, which
I mean,
I mean,
if it's a friendly, I mean, I guess it's fine.
yeah, I guess.
What can you do?
I guess.
It's a
But then
Whatever.
again, like none of the legends
don't really
got
have a
like
really
a
strong
send
opinion
off.
on
Like Beckham didn't get it, Gerrard didn't get it, Lampard didn't get it.
okay, but that's not an argument to say that Rooney shouldn't get it.
No, it kind of is.
That's kind of like a salty argument.
No, I mean it's not a salty argument. It's going against like.
I mean, they did get like final games, didn't they? Where they knew it was their final game, and then they kind of.
I mean, Rooney knew that it was his final game, and he like.
Yeah,
But he's back.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Whatever.
I don't really have a strong opinion on it. It's just a friendly game.
Yeah,
Our-
I guess.
So are we doing
Yeah.
the awards or is that the completion of this?
No, let's do
Okay.
awards.
Hmm.
So, let's start off with Golden Dude. On a positive note,
The Golden Dude of the Week?
who is it gonna be? Who were you guys thinking?
I'm blanking right now.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go for Raheem Sterling.
I was actually thinking Raheem Sterling.
I was thinking Raheem Sterling too, actually.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
guess.
did say Raheem, so
like,
that makes sense.
Sure,
Shuker's fuming.
fine,
Shuker's fuming.
whatever,
He's like, I can't.
whatever, fine.
I can't
Okay.
think of anyone else in
Has to be
particular.
though. He's looked so good, man.
Yo, he got a new contract
in a team
too, right?
of superstars.
As far as I know,
He's about to sign one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's about to sign. a
the
new
highest
contract.
paid player in the city.
That's just Daily Mail who reported that. No one else reported that, so I don't believe it.
Fair enough.
I don't think he's gonna be paid £300,000.
Ozil's on 300,000,
But-
isn't he?
We'll see. We shall see.
Also,
But he's been fantastic for City this
Yeah.
season.
Agreed.
Well deserved Golden Dude of the Week goes to Raheem Sterling, and let's talk about our disgrace of the week. Who is it gonna be?
That's tougher.
Who screwed up? Did anyone screw up?
Yeah, it's been kind of quiet as far as stories go, or anything like that. And even most of the games are all expected results, I guess. It's not like anyone really royally screwed up. For what I
want to give it to Fulham.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been dire.
Because they had
so
such
bad.
high expectations.
They lost to Huddersfield today, didn't they?
They lost to Huddersfield. They were supposed to be like, I don't know if you remember, but like in the top half of the table because of like all the signings.
Yeah, I expected better out of them.
They've been horrible.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We can give it to Fulham, I guess.
Yeah,
Fulham.
I can't really think of anyone else.
I mean,
anyways.
we visited their stadium and it wasn't much.
It was so bad. It was a proper Brexit stadium. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that comment.
Okay.
All right, well, Gary's Neville biggest disgrace of the week goes to Fulham, the club, for their lack of quality in the season for compared to their quality of signings in the summer. Really not turning out what we expected from them.
No.
So congratulations, Fulham. You can pick up your award at any point. Just come see us and we'll get the plaque for you.
Yeah, they displayed it in a club store proudly because it isn't much.
Jesus.
Savage. So savage.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Dude, it was literally nothing though. Like
it was depressing.
Like we saw Liverpool's store, it was like a huge ass like building on its own.
Okay, you can't compare it to Liverpool though.
Okay,
like,
fine. Like we saw Chelsea's store, we saw like.
It was like smaller than a.
To be
fucking
fair,
convenience.
money though, right?
Straight up. Remember that convenience store beside our hostel? That was bigger than the fucking store.
Yeah.
To be fair, the funds of the clubs
Which is
though, right?
something.
To be fair, the funds of the clubs. I mean, Liverpool and Chelsea both have had tons of money influxed.
Yeah, fair enough. But like,
Well,
I
I
mean,
know.
like the real estate they allocated to the store itself was like nothing.
Is it worth putting?
It was like in the middle of the quietest suburb. I'm like,
Yeah.
how is this here?
Dude, we saw no
'Cause I was
people
like-
there. Like there were no people on
We
the
were just-
streets.
We were just biking along this quiet suburb, and then we're like, wait, is that the Fulham Stadium? Right there. It's just like, you could straight up be like a little house. It's like, oh, okay. Not an issue.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with that wrapping up of savage beating of Fulham,
Sorry,
this
Fulham
ends
Just
ends our
nowhere.
episode 33. Thank you everyone for listening and or watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe or follow us on any of the platforms basically that you're on. And especially if you haven't already, please go to our YouTube and subscribe there. Show us some love. We do appreciate that. Like the video as well if you're there and you're listening. Thanks again.
Or if you want us to do something different, tell us that.
Please.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
there's
Always
something
post us some comments.
wrong
We'll respond. YouTube's the best way to get a hold of us, and we'll gladly do another deep dive if you guys want a specific topic or something you want covered more in depth. And we'll try and do our best to get on that. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching and or listening. This is going to be Tristan and Shrikar signing off. Thanks everyone.
Peace.